Happy opening day, Cincinnati. We have reached the games that count, and for Andrew Abbott, his first test is right now.
You are Locked On Reds, your daily Cincinnati Reds podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm Jeff Carr, he's Steve Offenbaker, and today's Locked On Reds podcast is brought to you by MLB The Show 26. Visit MLBTHE.show/lockedon and use the promo code LOCKEDON for a free pack to use in Diamond Dynasty. Available now on PlayStation 5, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. It's ready for everyone. Stay tuned later for an MLB Top 100 highlight. Later on in today's show, we'll predict a few key moments in today's game, like who will hit the first dinger of the day. In just a few minutes, we will dissect the Red Sox and what to watch out for from them. And that all starts with their starting pitcher who was this close to winning the AL Cy Young last year. But we'll begin with the man of the hour for the Cincinnati Reds, Andrew Abbott, because Steve, it was well documented that the man was not called upon to pitch in the very, very short time that the Reds had in the playoffs last year. And so for him to be tabbed as the opening day starter after Andrew Abbott or after Hunter Green went down, this is by far the biggest test that he has ever faced in his career.
Well, it's a big moment, and I think he's going to rise to this occasion. Listen, Jeff, it's no secret. I talked about this a lot during the offseason. This is where I wanted things to end up for Andrew Abbott heading into this season. I wanted him to be the opening day starter, and not because of injury. I was not wishing that anybody got hurt.
Felt like he earned it.
But I wanted Andrew Abbott to have this opportunity because he did earn it, Jeff. He led this team in WAR at 5.5. He was their most reliable starting pitcher, really, as far as, quantity of time on the field and results. I know Brady Singer started more games and pitched like 6 more innings than he did in totality on the season. But Andrew Abbott was the reliable workhorse that just went out there and got it done. He got the results. Again, led the team in WAR. He was the best in availability for the big guns in this rotation. I know that Brady Singer is a guy that's Mr. Reliable, but you don't strike fear in the opponent's hearts with Brady Singer. You don't worry about what he's going to do. He's just going to go out there and be Mr. Consistent. Andrew Abbott was the workhorse, was an all-star, led the team in WAR, did the things. He deserves this moment. He deserves this chance. I know he's had a rough spring. I think he's going to rise to the occasion. I have discounted the spring results for pretty much all of the pitchers this season. They were working on stuff. They were doing things different. The time is now. Now he gets to be on the big stage, the holiday atmosphere that is Cincinnati as its opening day pitcher, going out there in game 1 in a packed capacity, Great American Ballpark. Andrew Abbott's going to get it done.
Yeah, look, I think we both have tried to get it across that spring training doesn't mean anything statistically, especially when it comes to pitchers. The only thing is, Andrew Abbott's got to pitch today. He's got to go out there and he's got to do the thing. I'd be curious, and we're going to give our predictions later on in the show. Be curious what folks think about this. Let us know in the comments section. How do you think he's going to look today? Because I think he's going to look fine. I think he's going to go out there. He's going to do the thing, because if anyone understands the moment, it's Andrew Abbott. He knows exactly what is expected of him. He is going to understand how to bask in the limelight of the day, but then now they'll go out there on the mound and get things done. And we know who he is. He misses barrels, not so much bats. We'd love to see that kind of tick up a little bit this year. His strikeout rate is actually below league average last season, but his walk rate is well better than average as well. So he does this great job of not allowing free passes, and he doesn't allow a ton of hard contact. So his stuff doesn't need to be crisp and amazing and top shelf, but it needs to be located well. So that's going to be the big thing for him. When it comes to opening day, though, like I feel like a city of Cincinnati especially, there's added pressure on the starter for the day, because this is the biggest day of the year in the city of Cincinnati. And when you're going up against the Boston Red Sox, and we'll talk about the opposition that he faces on the mound in Garrett Crochet coming up here in a little bit, like there's a lot of pressure that is behind this. And kind of looking at the history of this, even just the last 5 years, Steve, there's been some up and down performances. We've not seen anybody just go crazy. You got to go back to like 2015 for the last time that a pitcher has had just an amazing performance. That's what Johnny Cueto did against the Cubs that year. But all in all, what we have seen over the last 5 years from opening day starters has been interesting and not really that indicative of how they were going to pitch for the year.
Yeah, and I don't know if the pitchers feel more pressure, if the players feel more pressure, but it certainly matters more to us. And it certainly matters more to all the fans in the stands. So I think that the Reds players as a whole want to go out and have a good performance. I believe in Andrew Abbott. And through the course of his career, you talk about him with his strikeouts last year. That's really the only category where he didn't get better year over year. You look at his numbers, Jeff. He's been better in WAR every season since he hit the big leagues. He went from 2.7 to 3.3 to 5.5. He's been better in innings pitched, 109 to 138 to 166. That walk rate you talked about started his rookie year at 3.6 down to 3.4, down to 2.3 last season. Andrew Abbott been on a steady, reliable upward tick in his career. And I don't see any reason that that's going to change heading into now his fourth big league season. I think he's going to go out there and you want me to save the predictions, right? I'll save the predictions for later. I'll save the predictions.
Yeah.
But I think that Andrew Abbott's going to go out there and show the Boston Red Sox who he is, and they're going to have a hard time with him.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting to kind of lay out what he is looking at least as far as recent history. If you go back the last 5 years, of course, Hunter Green pitched in 2 of them. Last year's start, he had 5 innings. He just allowed 2 runs. 2 years ago, you had Frankie Montas, 6 innings of shutout ball. 2023, Hunter Green got roughed up. He gave up 3 earned runs and 3 1/3 innings pitched. He gave up some base runners in that game. Did have 8 strikeouts, but that was also during the David Bell era when things were, well, it's still extended spring training, so we're still going to work up the pitch count, and we're not exactly going to let you cut loose. And so he got pulled super early. Then he had Tyler Mahle in 2022, shutout ball for 5 innings. And then Luis Castillo in 2021. I can still close my eyes and remember that opening day when he gave up every single run that you could possibly think of. He looked horrible that day. And then parlay that into a season where he had 33 starts and 4.2 wins above replacement. So obviously it completely derailed his season. But the whole point is, like, here in recent history when it comes to opening day, there's not been that dominant start. Andrew Abbott has the ability to do that. He has a complete game shutout under his belt last season. He looks like a guy who has more to give where that is concerned. I mean, he's a bulldog kind of dude, the kind of pitcher that you want on the mound in big situations.
Let's lean into the best opening day start in team history. Like, where's the bar, Jeff? What's the bar? What kind of performance would somebody have to exceed to get labeled the best opening day start in Cincinnati history?
So I got 2 for you, and these 2 are very different in how you compare them because they are far, far apart. I mentioned Johnny Cueto in 2015, 7 shutout innings with 10 strikeouts, and he allowed just 5 base runners, 4 hits and 1 walk to the Cubs that day. It's interesting because he didn't get the win because Kevin Gregg came in and gave up a couple of runs to tie the game, and then the Reds went off in the bottom of the 8th inning, and they ended up winning that day. It's just he didn't get credit for it. And then you have the other one. And it's hard for me to evaluate this one because it's a different ball game. But Johnny Vandermeer, back in 1943, pitched a complete game shutout. Steven, I'm sorry. No. I buried the lead on that. A complete game shutout in which he threw 11 innings of shutout ball. And the Reds won 1-0 in a walk-off.
That's never going to happen again ever in baseball. Nobody's ever going to throw that many innings ever again in a single game. But listen, I love that this is Johnny Vandermeer. Yes, the same guy that threw back-to-back no-hitters. And by the way, if you follow Johnny Vandermeer close, he threw back-to-back no-hitters, and then his 3rd start after that. So no-hitter, 6 innings of no-hit ball the next time out before he finally gave up a hit. I love Johnny Vandermeer. He's one of my favorite all-time Reds pitchers. That's forever going to be the best opening day start in Cincinnati history.
You can't top it. And it's funny too, because like really trying to get into the minutia of it, is pointless because he did a thing that you can't do. Like, I don't think there is a pitcher in the game today. Like, I think if Detroit's manager had Tarek Skubal go 11 innings in one game, I don't care how good Tarek Skubal's pitching. If he's pitching a no-hitter, perfect game, whatever. If he's pitching a perfect game and they have him go 11 innings, that manager might be on the hot seat the next day because you might be running that dude into the ground to the point that the rest of the season is shot. So, yeah, you're right. It's kind of funny to talk about and what the best start in Reds opening day history might look like. Well, it ain't going to be better than that. But we know that opening day presents Andrew Abbott with his biggest test yet.
That's true, because the Boston Red Sox, they're not starting no slouch. Let me tell you, they're starting one of the best pitchers in the game is Andrew Abbott versus Garrett Crochet. We're talking about that coming up next.
What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood prediction markets. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in the moments that matter. Robinhood prediction markets changes the game. It's people moving the action. So when momentum shifts, you can move with it. I always knew the game, but never had a dynamic way to apply that knowledge. Now I can actually take part live in a market powered by people. You're no longer just a spectator. Play by play, you decide. Trade every play with Robinhood. Now available across the U.S., download the Robinhood app now to begin. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
It's everyone's favorite time of the year. No, I don't mean opening day. It's tax time. But for a lot of us, the old way of doing taxes is, well, a lot. Trying to book an appointment that's not the most convenient, sitting in a waiting room with a stack of papers, emailing back and forth and wondering if they really get your situation. But this year, you're getting a major upgrade. Intuit TurboTax now has in-person locations nationwide. You can meet face-to-face with a real tax expert, and your documents get uploaded straight to your TurboTax app on the spot. And just like that, you're done. Your TurboTax expert works to get you every dollar that you deserve while you get real-time notifications as you go about your day. It's the relief of walking in and meeting with a real person and walking out knowing your taxes are being handled right. Head to turbotax.com/local to find a store near you and book your appointment today. Thanks for making Locked On Reds your first.
I know you like taxes so much. That's interesting.
I love it. I love it. You know what? I love getting that money back. You know what else I love? I love the Everydayer Club, Jeff. Everydayer Club's $5 a month, $50 a year. It gets you ad-free Locked On Reds over in the audio feed. It also gets you exclusive access to the Locked On Network Discord server, not just Locked On Reds, where Jeff and I will be talking Reds baseball during the game throughout the day right there on the Discord channel, but every single show in the Locked On Network also has a channel in there. Go check it out today. The link is down in the show description.
The Cincinnati Reds are facing, other than Paul Skeens, because I don't know that they'll face Tarek Skubal this year, but other than Paul Skeens, I think the best pitcher that they will face, and oh, by the way, it's game 1 of 162, because Garrett Crochet is just amazing. I mean, we're talking about a dude who finished runner-up in the AL Cy Young. I think he had a pretty decent argument to get it. It's just Tarek Skubal is ridiculous when it comes to pitching. But this is what his resume was last year, Steve. He led the American League in innings pitched. He led the American League in strikeouts. He had a 2.59 ERA. And oh, by the way, he had a 2.89 fielding independent pitching, or FIP. You know, that thing we talk about whenever we're talking about a pitcher and we're like, is the ERA right? Is it a little bit lucky? Is it not? His FIP basically said, yeah, no, it's pretty much right. And then in 25 out of the 32 starts that he had, he allowed 2 runs or less. You know, we always talked about the magic number, you know, being 4.5, you know, whatever, averaging 4.5 runs a game. Tarek Skubal's counterpart in Garrett Crochet, he don't really let you get more than 2. So he is a crazy good pitcher, and he's also a lefty. So we know what that means.
You know, you want to know how good Garrett Crochet is? Let's go back one more year. Let's go back to 2024. Pitching for the Chicago White Sox, he managed to win 6 ball games. I think that was all of their wins in 2024. I think he got all of their wins.
At least half of them, if it wasn't all.
At least half. They were terrible. He was an all-star for them, a 3.58 ERA. He is just a beast. Back-to-back seasons of 11 or higher strikeouts per 9, back-to-back seasons, walks per 9 of 2. He is really, really good. He put up 4.1 in WAR, again, pitching for the White Sox, and then 6.3 for the Red Sox last year. That's 10.4 in WAR over the last 2 seasons, Jeff.
By the way, that's why, like, I had a hard time with a Luis Robert. Well, he was playing for a bad team. Like, maybe if he goes to another team, he's going to be okay. Garrett Crochet was playing for a bad team, and he was pitching his butt off. You're exactly right. But I think that he is going to present such a crazy challenge for the Reds. Like, we talk about a guy's baseball savant page or StatCast, you know, all the different things when it comes to quality of contact, hard hit rate, swing and miss rate, strikeout rate, walk rate, all the rates, all the different stuff. And red is good, blue is bad. There isn't a single category that is blue. It is all red. He is absolutely filling up every single stat page. Like, it stinks because when it comes to opening day, you want to go see the Reds win a ball game. There is going to be a small part of me, my baseball fan side in my brain, that is like, I am a little excited to see this guy pitch because this dude is just really, really good at pitching. And there's one other note that I took because I found this intriguing. You think of a guy like this that has the kind of resume and has done the things that he has done. And you're like, okay, he's probably a little bit older. He's 20 days younger than Andrew Abbott is. And now there is more career WAR for Andrew Abbott, but at the same time, like, man, you're talking about a dude that is just getting started, and he is as good as he is.
Yeah, there's a lot of life left in that arm for sure. I mean, he's got a lot of years where he's going to dominate the league. It's unfortunate, you know, for baseball fans, for just overall baseball fans, this is one of those guys you want to see pitch. I don't want to see him pitch on opening day in Cincinnati.
No, any other day.
This is where you come in and we're excited. We've got this revamped lineup. There's 100 home runs hitting behind Ellie De La Cruz now. We're ready to watch the Reds go score runs in bunches, and that might not happen on day one. It could be a very low-scoring game, and that's okay if the Reds win it. But don't base your opinions on the 2026 lineup on the one game you see on opening day, because they are really facing a good pitcher, and it's going to be a lot more games where they score a lot of runs. I'm not looking for today's game to be a big run scoring affair. I think it's going to be a very low scoring game. And I think that, you know, Garrett Crochet is going to get his. He's going to strike out guys. He's going to go hard at these hitters, and he's going to have some success. It's just the way that it's going to go. That's what happens when you face elite pitching, and he is elite pitching. So I'm not going to panic, but I want the Reds to win this game. I think they can. Pitchers right now, this time of year, tend to leave the game earlier than they do later in the season. That will get the Reds into the Red Sox bullpen, and that's where the success can come. They can get Crochet off the mound and get into the bullpen. The Reds can win this game.
Their bullpen definitely has some interesting pitchers in it, but you're right. Like, none of them are as good as Garrett Crochet is, because Garrett Crochet is one of the 3 best pitchers. I would say it's Tarek Skubal, Paul Skeens, and Garrett Crochet. Like, I think that's probably the ranking in Major League Baseball right now, and we're going to get to see one of those 3 guys today. Other guys that I'm looking at on the Red Sox roster really quickly, like just looking at the matchups that Andrew Abbott is going to be faced with for most of the game, there's only going to be, like, I want to say 3 left-handers in this lineup. The only 3 left-handers that I'm going to see starting are Marcelo Mayer there at second base. You're going to have Jarren Duran and Roman Anthony in the outfield. That's it. That's the list of left fielder or left-handed hitters for him. So we're going to see a lot more fastball changeup than we see fastball sweeper, because he only throws that sweeper against left-handed hitters. And the fastball changeup combo that Andrew Abbott employs is against right-handed hitters. So that's going to be an intriguing thing. And they've also upgraded a little bit. I mean, most of the time they had Abraham Toro playing first base for them last year, because there was a lot of disappointment in how Tristan Casas played, who was their big, like, first base prospect, but he never really panned out for him. And now they have Wilson Contreras. We remember him. He was playing for St. Louis. Now he's playing for another team that wears red. It's just not in St. Louis. And he's going to be here for the first 3 games of the season. He knows the Reds well. They know him well. Be interested to see how well he hits against them, because he's got a pretty nice career against the Reds as well.
There are some dangerous guys in this.
It's a tough lineup.
And you have to look really. You just have to look at the guy that finished 3rd in Rookie of the Year voting last year, right? In Roman Anthony, and his 40% better than league average performance, and know where you should be afraid when you're pitching to this lineup. What they can't do is they can't let a single guy beat them. They can't let someone Christian Yelich the team, basically. So they just Andrew Abbott has to take an even keeled approach and not get too worked up depending on who's standing in the batter's box.
Coming up next, we're going to tell you exactly how it's going to go down, and I'm sure we're going to be 100% right with our predictions for this opening day ball game. The Major League Baseball season is so close, I can almost taste it, and this is the perfect time to jump in on the futures, because they won't be around for much longer, especially when it comes to the season win totals for your Cincinnati Reds. Looking at what FanDuel has right now, they have the over-under set at 80.5 wins for the Reds in 2026. I'm smashing the over. I think it's gone down ever since the Hunter Green injury. I think that the Reds can survive that, and then whenever he comes back, they're going to go on a crazy run in July. I feel really good about this season. I think the Reds have a chance to win more than 90 games, which also is another thing you can check out over on FanDuel. In fact, if you look at that one, the odds on it are plus 390 for the Reds to win 90 or more games. FanDuel's the perfect place to jump in on all of the action. Plus, you can check out all the college basketball props, parlays, and bets that they've got. It's all over at FanDuel.com. FanDuel, play your game. This week's MLB Top 100 highlight is brought to you by MLB The Show 26, the latest from the beloved video game franchise. Each week, we've been highlighting the stars of Locked On MLB's Top 100 list that we've put together this year, and the elite names that you'll be controlling in your franchise, your Diamond Dynasties, all the great stuff right here on MLB The Show 26. And today, we're spotlighting the opening day starter, Andrew Abbott. The fact that he's number 84 on the Locked On MLB Top 100 players list. Look, he's not really well known outside the city of Cincinnati, but that's going to start changing today as he jumps on the mound and he beats up on those Boston Red Sox. I'm expecting big things from Andrew Abbott this season. He's going to be much higher on this list come next year. And you can play with him and all of your favorite Reds on MLB The Show 26. Get your copy today. It's out now on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch. It's rated for everyone. Make sure you go get yourself a copy today. Easy for me to say. You can keep the conversation going with us on social media. You can follow Steve at S. Offenbaker with 2 Fs. You can follow me at Jeff Carr with 3 Fs. And you can follow the show at Locked On Reds. That's on all the social medias for the show. I'm on Twitter and TikTok. Steve's on Twitter. We're working on the TikTok. I think he's found the genre of music that he's going to create dance videos for. More on that to come later on.
Oh boy, there is nobody subscribing to that.
Let's start with our predictions, because when it comes to opening day, one of my favorite things to do is just lay it out, how it's going to go, and then see just exactly how right we are at the end. Spoiler alert, it isn't usually a whole lot of right, but I'm going to start. I'm going to steal one from you, because I think I'm going to steal one from you. The first guy to hit a home run in this ball game is going to be Matt McLain. We're talking about a dude that even after last year, even after the rough season that he had, his splits for his career against left-handed pitching is he hits 272 and he gets on base 35% of the time, and he slugs 466. He's going to go yard. He's going to take that momentum that he got from spring training and keep it going. And he's going to bat second. So he's going to be up before Ellie De La Cruz, and he's going to hit a home run. He's going to start the back-to-back-to-back of him and Ellie and Eugenio Suárez, and we're all just going to be really happy.
All right, I will let you begrudgingly steal my Matt McLain stuff, even though I was never the one that wanted to send him down like you were. But I will tell you this, Matt McLain might hit the first home run in this game, but Eugenio Suárez is going to hit the last home run in this game because the Reds are going to walk this game off 3-2 with Eugenio Suárez bringing some World Baseball Classic magic to Great American Ballpark in game 1, and the Reds are going to walk it off.
Let me see here. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that, the closer for the Boston Red Sox, none other than Aroldis Chapman.
I love that. Even better. That's how that's going to go.
It'll be interesting to see Gino playing against it. Look, the roar, and this is one of the things that I'm looking forward to. You look forward to a lot of different things on opening day, but I really am looking forward to the roar of the crowd whenever Joe Zarahusen gets on the mic and he says, Eugenio Suárez for the first time, because I think a lot of people are just going to go nuts seeing Gino back.
It's going to be nice to see Gino in GABP with a capacity stadium, just really showing him some love. I'm excited for that as well. I'm excited to get this team on the field for real. It has been, this offseason feels like it has taken 100 years just to finally get to this moment where it's opening day. While we're in prediction mode, I said I think it's going to be a walk-off. I think the Reds win 3-2. I think Andrew Abbott is going to go 6 innings of work. I think he's going to be able to pitch efficiently and get to 6 innings. I think Garrett Crochet for the Red Sox probably is going to give about the same. And then the scoring is going to come when they get into the bullpens. I think they'll carry a 2-2 game into the 9th when the Reds walk it off and win 3-2. I'm excited for this, Jeff. I'm excited to see a lot of the new faces. I'm excited to see this team back in action. And I'm excited for a Reds win on game number 1 of 162.
I like it. I think I will give him 5 innings, I think, because I have been a little bit too optimistic in my past years for starting pitcher expectations. There's going to be an inning, and I don't necessarily know that it's because of walks, but Andrew Abbott has, even when things are going right, been a guy that goes 3-2 to a couple of different guys, and there's some dudes in this Red Sox lineup that can really push an at bat. And so I think there's going to be that one inning that drives up his pitch count too much to the point where he gets through 5. But then Tito's like, man, it's a long season. We gotta get into this bullpen, as revamped bullpen. And I can't wait. I think the first dude out of the pen, this is going to be an interesting one for me, because I like to predict this, right? There's different dudes. And of course, we were all wrong about the last guy out of the bullpen on opening day last year. But the first guy out of the bullpen this year on opening day, I believe, is going to be Phillips, because I think that there's just an aura around him right now from the way that he ended last year, pitched in the playoffs, and the fact that he was announced before the roster was really finalized that he was going to make the opening day roster. I think there's an aura about him, and he's going to come in and he's going to look good against these Red Sox. He's going to pitch a nice scoreless 6th inning as the first out.
It's a good pick. If it's not him, it'll be Graham Ashcraft. I think it'll be one of those two guys will be the first guy out of the bullpen for the Reds after Andrew Abbott leaves.
I think it's interesting too. Like, it's easy for the manager to go with his A squad on opening day. There's an off day the next day. Like, it's not like you run the risk of pitching guys 3 days in a row to start the season. There's going to be that empty day. So you can literally line up the A squad if you want to and just go bang, bang, boom, get to Emilio Pagan in the 9th inning. And if you're right and it is a walk-off, then Pagan gets the win. I'm hoping that this is something where we really see, because I've been talking up this bullpen all off season long, and I believe in this bullpen. I want to see this bullpen on day 1 be handed a lead and just see what they do with it, because I don't believe they will relinquish it, especially when you're able to go from fireballer to curveballer to cutter to splitter. And I'm talking literally about going from Connor Phillips to Pierce Johnson to Graham Ashcraft to Tony Santillan to Emilio Pagan. Like, all 4 of those guys, like, you just go bang, 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 boom. None of them have the same thing. They all have different stuff. It's so many different weapons that Terry Francona get to call on here. Like I love that. One more prediction from you. What do you got? Random one, because I don't have a specific one that I'm looking at.
Okay. If we were to do one more random prediction, let's do this one. Who will be the first guy in the outfield to make an amazing diving crazy catch? It's going to be Noelvi Marte, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I have talked smack about his defense the entire offseason, and this show, as the everydayers know, is undefeated about these players showing us up when we talk an extra amount of smack. So I leaned into it this offseason. I did the rumbling, bumbling, stumbling joke about his routes on many occasions. So he's going to make some kind of a fantastic diving catch in this game.
For me, I think it's going to be TJ Friedl, because just about the same reasons. I've been talking about how I kind of am worried about TJ Friedl. I think that the Reds are slightly worried about TJ Friedl. That's why they brought in Dane Myers. And I don't believe, because there's going to be some people that are mad about this, but I don't believe that TJ Friedl sits on opening day. I think there's a little bit of you've earned this and a little bit of pomp and circumstance behind who's on the opening day starting lineup and who's on the opening day mound and all this other stuff. So, yes, against lefties, I want to see Dane Myers in center field. But on opening day, I want to see TJ Friedl in center field. And we're going to see him make an amazing diving catch out there. I think that's a good way to go.
Well, it's time to go watch the game. Today is opening day. The Reds play the Red Sox down at GABP, game 1 of 162. We will be back in your feeds tomorrow talking all about what has gone on and what has happened and see how many of these predictions were actually correct. Make sure you click subscribe. Make sure you click that notification bell so you don't miss any of that or any of the great content we've got coming your way all season long, because we are going to be in this feed tons all year. And not just us. Tim Daniels back tonight with the Reds postcast after game 1. He's going to be with you live after each and every Reds game all season long. Thanks for tuning in to Locked On Reds. For the audio folks, go make Locked On MLB your second listen. Sully's got you covered with Major League Baseball from a national perspective. You can also catch former Reds pitcher Mike Stanton over there covering Major League Baseball from a player's perspective. Both of those shows are in that Locked On MLB feed. For the video folks, stick around. We're going to send you over to Locked On's first ever 24/7 national YouTube channel where all of the experts of the Locked On network are talking ball 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to keep you filled with sports knowledge. We'll be back in your feed tomorrow. Jeff and I will have all of the highlights, the news, the notes from the game to keep you locked on Reds every single day.
I'm already at the ballpark. I've been at the ballpark all week mentally. I don't even know how I got work done.